Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your September 2019 Astro Update. It's Rena here. As we start the month of September, it's a similar situation to the beginning of August, where there's a cluster of personal planets in one sign. In September, this sign is Virgo. And Virgo for you is your fourth house of home and family. So we start the month with the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars in Virgo. And in addition to that, we also are coming off of a new moon, which is occurring on August 30th in Virgo as well. So there's a strong emphasis on the home environment. And for Gemini, this may be something that is not necessarily your cup of tea, because Virgo squares you off, and so there's a natural tension because of this with the fourth house matters. And the other thing about this is that you are going to have, you may have a lot of emphasis here, and this can be with your mother or with real estate matters, with maybe you've just purchased a house with the new moon having come through here right before the beginning of the month, and you're just simply moving in and, unpacking everything out of the boxes. Venus can be like painting, making it beautiful. The Sun here, you're just becoming this domestic goddess or god, the domestic god, okay. Where you're really focused on these matters. Now, if you, I like to make these caveats, because if your Sun is in Gemini and yet you have maybe some personal planets in Cancer, this is more up your alley. So you're not going to be as allergic to home matters as you might typically be. So maybe you have Venus, Mercury, Mars in Cancer, or your moon sign could be anything like Cancer, or any water signs where you're kind of a nester and that kind of energy, or nurturer, due to the water element, and you just naturally have an affinity for home life. Because Gemini is a masculine sign and tends to, probably view the home as a pit stop more than this place to spend lots and lots of time in. That's obviously a generalization though. So, like I said, some of you may be moving house and just kind of getting everything organized in your house. On the 14th, we have a full moon at 21 degrees of Pisces, which happens to be your 10th house of career. Now, full moons can be like you have arrived. You are, coming into your own career-wise. Is there some connection between fourth house activities and that 10th house? Yes, there could be. Then maybe you're moving for your career, and now you've kind of gotten this promotion, gotten this recognition, and you feel like you're on top of your game. It can be, if you're at the age of retirement, that you're moving because you're downsizing, and the full moon in the 10th house could be you're retiring, you're getting your retirement party. It all depends on your stage of life, I guess. On the same day, Mercury and Venus move into your 5th house in the sign of Libra. This is more friendly. This is friendlier, a friendlier angle. This is a fellow air sign. So there is this sense of the fact that you're air and they're air, a trine. And this is easy manifestation for 5th house matters. So 5th house can be falling in love. Actually, Mercury and Venus is great for that, because you're talking to a potential partner and you're crushing on them. You may have strong feelings for this person, but it still may be at the talking stage perhaps. And this can also be that if you are somebody who has started a business or you're in that process, that you are getting everything together, getting a website, getting, kind of like even starting to make some money with Venus transiting this fifth house. Who knows? On the 18th, and this is great too for working with children, maybe teaching children, early childhood or things like that. And, or, like elementary school, especially the younger grades. On the 18th, Saturn goes direct in Capricorn, which happens to be your 8th house, which is shared resources. Perhaps this was something to do with some kind of debt that you have been paying back, that, it's like, to me, like Saturn can be obligations. In the 8th house, it can be the things that you feel that you have to take care of first, kind of like Saturn doesn't like excess, so any kind of debt that you are repaying, maybe you kind of went off your debt schedule payments, and now you're going back on them for some reason. Because when Saturn was retrograde, you may have not felt the same discipline to be able to kind of like put aside money every month to be able to do this. And now you're back in business and back doing what you're supposed to be doing. On the 23rd, the sun goes into Libra. So this is the equinox period, the power period, when the sun goes into a cardinal sign. Libra, that fifth house again. And this is great for love. This is great for having fun. That's something I should have said about the fifth house, where you might just be having a good time. Geminis tend to like to have a good time as it is. You're not really Debbie Downers of the Zodiac, that's for sure. But there may be this sense of just like lightening up, because Saturn in the 8th house, I didn't say this, but to me, this can even be something if you have been wanting some type of career in metaphysics or working in an intuitive type of career. Maybe you even had training in this area. I was going to say reading the Akashic records, but I think that might be more 12th house, but astrology and things like that. And you kind of wandered away from it, and now you're back. You realize that this is something you want to do, or a healing profession of some sort. That could definitely be something that, or maybe you just took the summer off, let's say that, and now you're back doing that. That's kind of like the 8th house is pretty intense, it's Scorpio's house. So having the sun go into this 5th house can really lighten the load and make you, just more ready to embrace kind of the more playful side of life and make you more playful. And it's great, as I said, it's a romantic energy as well. And then on the 28th, we have the new moon at 5 degrees of Libra in that 5th house. So any kind of new romance or something like that, it may really start to heat up at the end of September for you. Oh, one thing I didn't say about the 5th house, it's also the house of creativity. I don't think I stated that. And that is great for artists. So anybody who wants to start new artistic endeavors, this is going to be the month for that, especially as we end the month. And you may be like, coming up with these great ideas, especially mid-month when Mercury is in that 5th house of, creative projects that you want to do. So that's wonderful, Gemini, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below to my website, which is rainandmoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.